Today I want to talk about where Ohio State goes from here and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about Ohio State and where the Buckeyes go from here because I'm sure I and others are going to give a lot of air to Alabama and just what Nick Saban has accomplished in becoming, if not before, the greatest coach of all time, certainly now the greatest college football coach of all time. 7 national championships, 6 in 12 years. But what I saw from Ohio State was just what the gap is, and that's what we have been experiencing with Alabama, as I have really had a good time pointing out to most people, the 2017 Alabama recruiting class is an all-timer. Like, I think it is the best recruiting class of all time. When it's all said and done, we'll see where guys get drafted, and we'll see what happens in the NFL. But 2 national championships in 4 years, 3 national championship appearances in 4 years. Outstanding. For Ohio State, you wanted to win this. And I think we all kind of talked ourselves into what it could be, but it just wasn't. When Trey Sermon went down hurt, needed to go to the hospital, that felt big. But even before that, losing Tyreek Smith and Tommy Togiai was also just a tremendous blow to Ohio State's chances. And when we look at the recruiting, been in the same ballpark as Alabama, just haven't been able to put over the top. Really puts into perspective what that Zeke Elliott team did, that Urban Meyer team did. It just gives us a little bit more, I think, appreciation for it. But going into 2021, in my way too early top 25, which I will link in the description below, I rank Ohio State number 5. Alabama at 1, Oklahoma at 2, Georgia at 3, Clemson at 4. And I rank him at 5 because I got questioned at quarterback. CJ Stroud is good, right? We agree. Jack Miller is good. We agree. Kyle McCord coming in is good. But more than that, growing up, Julian Fleming is going to be tremendous. Getting Travion Henderson on campus and getting him going is going to be tremendous. Evan Pryor also. Jack Sawyer, Marvin Harrison Jr. The list goes on. The 21 class is good. The only problem you run into is Alabama's 21 class is ranked higher. We'll see which one ends up being better. But I believe the strength of Ohio State is going to be the wide receiver group. And they're returning a ton, right, at wide receiver. Jamison Williams, Garrett Wilson to go along with Julian Fleming, to go along with Jackson Smith and Jigba, and this 21 recruiting class. They have an opportunity to be really good. Now they got non-conference games against Oregon and Tulsa. Tulsa, I think, is going to give them a stretch defensively, but they should be able to open up and beat that team. And I'm saying that as a graduate of the University of Tulsa. I'm actually very excited about that game in Columbus next year. But the Oregon game is going to tell us a lot because that Oregon team is also going to return a ton. And I think that game, along with Georgia, Clemson, are going to have a lot to say about who's playing in the college football playoff next year. But really, it's about Ryan Day and quarterback development. And Ryan Day has been phenomenal with Justin Fields, but it's only been Justin Fields. And we all agree that Justin Fields, one of the 2 best quarterbacks available in the 21 NFL draft. And we've agreed on that since he and Trevor Lawrence came through in 2018. Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, they're up there, right? We understand that they're that good. Like, Mac Jones is pushing for QB2, right? Right now, pushing QB3 for sure. Like, I got him ahead of Zach Wilson right now. What Joel Klatt called him was a poor man's Joe Burrow, meaning that as a compliment to Mac Jones and what he has become. And if you missed that segment on the watch party, I encourage you to go to the CFB on Fox channel and go watch it. When it becomes a clip of its own, I'll post it in the community, a community tab, so that you can get there. But I think continuing to recruit at defensive back is also going to be key for Ohio State. Kerry Combs has to figure out guys that can play man-to-man and that cover 3 that they somewhat want to be in, because Shaun Wade looked a lot like A.J. Terrell did against Jamar Chase last year in the national championship game. Outside corner just ain't his bag. He needs to be a slot corner. And there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I think there's more value in being a slot corner than being a guy that's lining up on the numbers and using the boundary as the extra defender. Just not his game. Josh Proctor has proven to be one of the better safeties in the country. I actually had a defensive back coach get at me and tell me that he believed Josh Proctor is the best safety in the country and that his game translates to the NFL. That, I think, is also huge, right? Knowing that you can bring that kind of guy in and develop that kind of guy, because that was a dude that was really having a hard time getting on the field last year. And for good reason, right? Jordan Fuller was that dude. We all knew it, and that was phenomenal to see. But you also see what it means for a guy like Jeff Okudah to be on the outside, right? You see what it means to have a guy like Damon Arnett on the outside. And I believe with some time, you'll get more of that for Ohio State. I think they're going to have an opportunity to repeat as the Big Ten champ. Indiana, Penn State, perhaps the only two teams that are going to challenge them in the Big Ten East. And then it's really about Iowa, perhaps, in the Big Ten West. We'll see what Wisconsin actually does. I like Jalen Berger and Graham Mertz in another year. We'll see if Jeff Brom and Purdue can get it going. George Karlaftis is the dude that's flying underneath everybody's radar in that conference. And I expect him to break out. Also getting his little brother Yanni to come in is going to be tremendous for Purdue. I'd like to think that they're going to be pretty good to decent. But I think Ohio State is on the right track to get back here in the playoff. A couple things go their way. One of those things that has to go their way is the quarterback development has to be there. If the quarterback development is there, we're talking about Ohio State competing in the college football playoff again. But that was the reason I had them behind a guy like DJ Uiagalelei and Clemson, because I'd seen Uiagalelei against the top 10 team, against a very good Notre Dame team, against an excellent Boston College team for what it was, right? I know what JT Daniels can do. I know what Spencer Rattler is. And Bryce Young is a more talented quarterback than Mac Jones. I know who that dude is. I just want to see more CJ Stroud before I start talking about Ohio State as a Final Four team. So it's not actually me counting out the Buckeyes. It's just me telling you what I think. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below. Deuces.